So here I'm going to do everything in cents. Oranges cost 35 cents. I'm going to call the number of oranges R. Now using O because that could be confused with 0. And then grapefruits cost 45 cents each. Question is, how many oranges did Jean buy in this transaction? So we need value for R. Statement 1 says that Jean spent a total of $1.60. So that's 160 cents. And the cost of R oranges would be 35R, and then those of the grapefruit would be 45G. First thing I'm going to do is to reduce this, divide both sides by 5. And then this would be 5 times 3, 15, 32. And even though it looks like it has 2 unknowns, you always want to make sure that you have 2 different values if you're claiming insufficiency. And that's more important when R and G, the unknowns here, are constrained to be integers. So you'll notice you don't have a lot of choices. So for example, I could isolate R in terms of G. This is a kind of a standard way of solving equations where variables are constrained to be integer. You can try different values. For example, if G, you can make a table. That's one way to do it if there aren't a whole lot. G is 0, and it's not an integer, so that's not a solution. G is 1, 32 minus 9, that's going to be 23, which is not an integer either. So these aren't solutions. If it's 2, 9 times 2 is 18, 32 minus 18 is 14 over 7 is 2. So you'll see 2 works because 35 times 2 is 70 cents. That's 90. That is indeed 160. So this is one solution. If you go to 3, 32 minus 27 over 7, this is 5/7, became less than 1. It's not a whole number. So 3 also goes, and if you do 4, then it becomes negative. So there's only one solution, which is G is 2, R is 2. And that's because G and R are constrained to be integers. These questions can be written in a way that there are more than one. So it really depends on the context. In this case, we have a unique solution. So if you're ever tempted to claim insufficiency without doing any work, force yourself to come up with 2 distinct values. That will usually save you from making the wrong conclusion. So here we do have a unique value. Jean bought 2 oranges and 1 alone is sufficient. 2 says she bought an equal number of oranges and grapefruits. And that by itself doesn't tell me anything because I have no information about the total price. 2 alone is insufficient. And you also notice statement 2 is consistent with the result that we got here where both G and R were equal. So the GMAT will always make the statements consistent even when you don't need that statement to just to get a solution here. Everything is consistent. So that also kind of helps to solidify that that your answer is correct and you didn't make any arithmetic mistake. So 2 alone is insufficient. The answer is choice A.